I definitely do think that access to funding plays a big part. Just me personally, like I can only invest so much, myself. And so having those outside investors and, grants and people who support you financially is very important. Like, I appreciate everyone who supports the brand and the business, everything, but the dollars are still very important. So when it comes to funding and all that good stuff, it's necessary because that's how not only we get the products that we need, but putting that energy into marketing classes. And that's where education comes in. Like, there may be a lack in education because those courses still cost money. There's only so much free knowledge you can get.
Welcome all our members, all our constituents, and all our listeners to the Entrepreneur Chamber podcast. Today is episode number 19, and as always, we have our host, Mr. IJUST. You know what I mean? IJUST, what's going on?
Good,
Myself,
brother.
SOSA, and without further ado, uh, introduce you to Miss Jaida. Miss Jaida, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Jada, and I'm the
How
owner
you
of
doing?
Black Beauty Near You. Black Beauty Near You provides beauty supply products catered towards Black girls at predominantly white institutions, also known as PWIs. I started Black Beauty Near You in 2019, October 2019, which is my sophomore year of college. And
Mm,
now I am graduated and
congratulations.
doing things. Thank you. I graduated
Mhm.
this June. And well, June of 2022, because it's 2023 now. And
Right, right.
yeah, that's pretty
I was
much,
with you last June. I was with
right. And yeah, that's a little bit about me without saying too much.
where so wait, so what did you where'd you go to school at and what did you study?
Okay, yeah, I went to school at UC San Diego and I studied math and computer science. I got my bachelor's of science in that.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So do you have a passion for it? Because like all right, so math, computer science. Now we're talking about Black Beauty near you.
I know.
So like tell us how did that come about?
Yeah, so I guess it can go from, I think one thing big about me and that my mom she always calls me the pretty nerd. So I guess the beginning of that could be Black Beauty Near You, and then the nerd is where the math and computer science part comes in. So it's really just a blend of me. Both of those things are really, what kind of describes me. And when it comes to the math and computer science part with Black Beauty Near You, that's I created the website that I've been managing that since 2019. Now I've been getting some help because it's always good to ask for help. But yeah, that's how I kind of use those skills, and also taking inventory, managing orders and funding and all that good stuff has came in handy, and I've been using that for my major. So that's how they kind of coincide. But yeah.
So do you do like because I know you said you like you developed the app. Now you do app develop, do you do coding as well or you okay, so
Yeah.
you know the whole
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
you
that
valid
was
you got skills.
Yeah, that was pretty much my undergrad experience was half math and half computer science. So yes, lots of coding. And I also work at an accounting firm. That's like my 9 to 5.
Okay.
And that's where I do my front end development skills and use that. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So when you work your 9 to 5 and you're doing this, you say you've been doing this since 2019, your sophomore year in college. You
Hmm.
just graduated. Now you went from graduation straight to a job. You already had it lined up or you or like had like what happened there when you
Yeah.
graduated?
So the summer after my junior year of college, I interned at this place, and then I got an offer back. And so after I graduated, I gave myself that summer because I'm like, okay, this is gonna be my last real summer of a big
Right.
break. And so this September that just passed is when I started working full time as a software engineer. And so it's been so it's kind of like my first, well, school was a full-time job, but
It
this is like
is.
my first time managing, a full-time
Mhm.
job with Black Beauty Near You. So that's been a transition, still working on, managing my time, but also not burning myself out.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's how that came about.
And where are you from, Jada?
I'm from Los Angeles, so not too far from San Diego. I'm in San Diego right now, but my home is LA.
Okay, so Sandy, I've never been to Sandy. I've been to LA. I've been to like,
Hmm.
I've been to LA. I've been to like all over. I've been to Sacramento, Bakersfield.
Okay.
Been to Oakland. I've been to whatchamacallit, San Fran. Right.
Okay.
Never
Bay
been to San,
Area.
but everybody says San Diego is like paradise. I don't know, I've never been there. But everybody I
But
know that been to San Diego, they're like, man, that's like the United States form of paradise.
yeah, it's nice down here. The weather's pretty moderate most of the time. We've been getting rain lately, but can't, complain too much about that. And yeah, it's a really beautiful city and it's close to the water. So if you get time to visit San Diego, I do recommend.
Okay, cool. Might take you up on that. But the okay, so you've been in this for for 3 years doing the business. So I guess it was more you were kind of like it was kind of helping you pay through college, right? It's kind of getting you through college, right? Then you say, okay, hey, I'm making money doing this. So you get it now. Now you start working, right? Obviously, you're entering the work field, right? And you
Hmm.
still got this business going on. So do you? So where do you see the business going? Where do you see um, a black beauty near you going?
Um, I have so many ideas for Black Beauty Near You, but my main thing right now is setting the tone and really being intentional about creating, not only selling beauty supply products, because that can be any space, but
Right.
being intentional about creating a safe space for Black girls who go to PWIs, creating a space, where they can vent, where they can connect with people, where they could just talk to people who get it, because at PWIs, like, the amount of Black people there is already very low. And so then when you think of Black women, it just gets lower. And so I want to create, because I am a Black girl who went to a PWI, so I get it. I understand, the struggle, the lack of community, the having to really go out of your way
What's the
to find
PWI? I'm
community.
sorry if I'm.
So
Predominantly
it's,
white institution.
yeah.
Predominantly white
Oh,
institution.
Mm-hmm.
y'all taught me
Mm-hmm.
something today. Okay. Okay, Winch, you up
Yes.
on it? You up on it? I see you. Okay. All right, cool. I got you. Okay.
So yeah, that's and so like in the future, I know I want to partner up with some folks at different schools and outreach to just make sure that the word is getting around, that they have, just be a resource to these
Yeah.
students basically, and make sure the word is getting around that something like me or something like Black Beauty Near You, I should say, exists. And yeah, just expanding, and like I said, providing those beauty supply products, but also creating a space to help, Black girls at PWIs evolve, develop, just get through college.
So did
You
you
know,
identify?
I really like that too,
Yeah.
Jada, because it kind of goes with the mantra or your value proposition. So like on your website, let's plug it in,
Mm-hmm.
www.blackbeautynearyou.com.
Yep.
Your
Mm-hmm.
business value proposition is making beauty products more accessible. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm, not but a young lady who's at a
Right.
PWI, and your value proposition is making these black beauty products more accessible, what are several ways that you find that you have to be innovative in order to make your black beauty products more accessible to young black women who are at a predominantly white institution?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's definitely something that helps when targeting the audience and knowing your audience. Because at the same time, I have to remember I'm working with college students. For one, we balling on a budget. So I can't be selling stuff that's too expensive, because me personally, I wouldn't have bought it. So why would I expect that from them? And also making things again more convenient. So I'm moving towards becoming more catered towards the beauty boxes I sell, which are pre-made beauty boxes that cater to a certain hairstyle. And so when you go on the website, you don't even have to think too much. It's like, okay, this box is for this box is for this, ship it out. And goes right to your door. And then also try to have little incentives in my orders as well. So I always promote other Black businesses that I know of, give customers a promo code, keep that going. And then also if I can get any samples from Black businesses, like right now I have some from Black Girl Sunscreen, so I throw those in the orders. I have some from Black Vanity Cosmetics, so I throw those in the orders. So yeah, just that's pretty much how I cater to my audience. And then as far as like advertising, I'm still in that realm, so just keeping up on trends and listening and asking my audience what they need to, not just assuming that I know what they need.
I like
Actually,
that.
I mean that's like marketing 101.
Yeah.
And speaking of
Like
that, what are your thoughts on using social media platforms for marketing your Black beauty products and building a brand? Is it important nowadays in
Mhm.
2023 or this current direct to consumer? Because nowadays it's about you can build directly to the consumer. So is it important
Mhm.
to have that online presence?
Yeah, definitely. I think social media is definitely a blessing because you can advertise your products on there for free. And sometimes you have to deal with an algorithm, blah blah blah, to make sure the word is getting out. But I like to see it as, there's an opportunity to have free advertisements running and coming across your perfect audience. And then I also do appreciate the paid ads that you can have, because then you can ensure that those posts are going to your audience. So yeah, I definitely think advertising on social media is great to take advantage of. Of course, know your audience. Like if your audience is like, elderly people, okay, social media is not going to be your place. But
It's not going to
for the
work that
most
well.
part, right? For the most part, social media does help a lot. And also being aware of what platforms that your audience uses the most. Like, for example, I wouldn't advertise my products on Snapchat because I know my audience isn't that active on Snapchat, or I wouldn't advertise too much on Facebook, just a
right,
little bit on Facebook, but wouldn't spend as much time on Facebook as I
right.
would on Instagram because I know where my audience
That's your
is. So
age. Right, right.
exactly. So being aware of those things, but definitely snaps to social media for allowing us business owners to advertise as much as we can and not taxing us or copywriting us on everything.
Was there,
And
you
that
know,
target marketing is important in that aspect
Mhm.
because now you don't literally have to go like door to door and be like a door to door salesman. You can target
Mhm.
your customer directly online. So I think that was a
just
great answer.
thinking, just thinking now that I was educated on that on an acronym or whatever. What so like was there like a particular incident or something, or is this just something that you recognize was a problem on the campus, or or maybe was there like less places for people of color to go get their hair, because obviously we are talking about different hair, we are talking about different skin tones and textures and
Mhm.
things. So did you find that there was a lack, or was a specific incident, like what actually like sparked the idea?
Yeah, so we can definitely get into that because that's what started everything. So like I said, I'm from LA, so beauty supplies they're everywhere. Like you don't have to go looking for them. And so coming to San Diego, and UC San Diego is in La Jolla, which I like to call San Diego Hills. It's a little bit bougie up here,
Okay.
unfortunately for us college students who have to make it through. But anyways, I was here my freshman year. I didn't have a car. I didn't really know San Diego that much. And so when I want beauty supply products, I'd either have to order them and wait for them to come, or I'd have to ask a friend, like, okay, can we drive to the beauty supply that's 30 minutes away? Because
Oh wow.
the
Okay.
closest one that's probably like 5 minutes away is Sally's, and there's nothing in Sally's for me or for people who look like me. And
Right.
so that's another thing. Then the last resort is taking the bus, and who knows how long that's going to take. So it was really going through that my freshman year. And after that, I'm always complaining to my parents, like, I always gotta wait. I gotta stock up when I come home. And they're the type of parents who's like,
Right.
okay,
Right.
like you can do something about that.
Right. Right.
And so sat down and figured out, okay, what am I gonna do about that? And so I just started I stocked up on a few products, like products that I use, but got a little bit extra just in
Yeah.
case anybody else needed them. And
Yeah.
I came to school with them and created the, Black Beauty Near You, created an Instagram, and I would post like, okay, this is available. This is when I'm doing pickups. And my friend, fortunately, was hosting a thing that was bi-weekly where people
Yeah.
could come and sell their stuff. And so that's how I was kind of getting the word out. And then eventually had the website, got the beauty boxes, and now I'm going from there. But yeah, it was just a lack of products on campus and off campus that made me want to start Black Beauty Near You, because I know I wasn't the only Black girl on campus going through this.
You know what I
Wow. Well, we
love
spoke
though?
about marketing 101. Now that's the economics 101, supply and demand.
Also too, and for like especially people that listen, they're trying to, get into business or trying to, have a passion or idea that they want to get out there. It's important that, especially if you're trying to really be successful, right? Is the key is to identify a problem and then have the solution to that particular problem. So what I love, because as you were talking, that's the reason why I asked you that question, because I was talking, I said, you know what, it's got to be something, right? Because that's just like, how do you know what I mean, something happened,
Yeah.
like you went through something, because that's something that
Yeah.
sounds like, I'm ticked off type of thing, and I won't get this thing popping. So
Mhm.
but what I love about it, and now to me, now I can connect the dots because it's a perfect name, Black Beauty Near You.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it all makes perfect sense. So I actually think it's a dope product, and I actually think that if you do get the word out, I do believe that 100%, because that has to be a problem. That's
Well,
definitely
hey man, that's why she's on the Entrepreneur Chamber podcast to help get
You
the
know,
word out. So once
okay.
again, if you are looking for Black beauty products, do not hesitate to go to www.blackbeautynearyou.com. So
that's
yeah,
it.
we
Yes,
are
please
here
don't
to help
hesitate.
solve that problem and help get the word out, because
Right.
again, what you're saying, it's the same thing. So it's economics 101, it's
Yeah.
supply and demand.
No doubt.
And speaking of that, Jada, according to JP Morgan Wealth Management Insights, since 2014, Black women has accounted for 42% of all women who open up a new business in America, representing the highest growth rate of any women demographic. So, Jada, what role do you see Black women having in business, let's say over the next 5 years? What role do you see women having?
Yeah. First things first, I just want to say shout out to us, because we
Mhm.
came a long way, okay?
That's right.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, 5 to 10 years from now, the way I see things going, I see a lot of, like, we already have like a lot of CEOs, but a lot of teachers and educators when it comes to this field of people who look like us. So, a lot of things that because I know growing up, I definitely, not only did I not get any classes or see people talking about, entrepreneurship, but I didn't see any Black women teaching these classes or any Black women showing up saying like, hey, you can do this. So I definitely see that growing, the amount of educators and leaders in this field to inspire the younger folks. And that number, I definitely see that number growing up from 42%. And yeah, like I said, lots more CEOs coming, but yeah, the main thing is I see a lot of educators in the future that are business owners, or were business owners and are now what's the word called, like paying it forward, that are now
And
paying it
for
Paying
yeah,
forward.
it forward.
yep,
That's
Hmm.
right.
and for no doubt, no
Hmm.
doubt.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
dope.
speaking of paying it forward, do you think or believe that for Black and Latino women specifically, do you believe that there needs to be more ways for Black and Latino women, or Black women specifically, who are entrepreneurs and business owners, a way to access long-term funding resources that will provide their businesses the opportunity to sustain that growth rate,
Mhm.
and more importantly, to thrive past that
Yeah.
growth rate? Like, do you think it's more like a access to funding or education, or do you think it's just something that's going to happen, perhaps organically?
Yeah, I definitely do think that access to funding plays a big part. Just me personally, like I can only invest so much, myself. And so having those outside investors and, grants and people who support you financially is very important. Like, I appreciate everyone who supports the brand and the business, everything, but the dollars are still very important. So when it comes to
Yes.
funding and all that good stuff, it's necessary because that's how not only we get the products that we need, but putting that energy into marketing classes. And that's where education comes in. Like, there may be a lack in education because those courses still cost money. There's only so much free knowledge you can get, So I definitely do think that the resources that are out there, the long-term financial resources, we could definitely have a bigger display of that for us because I mean, there's some out there, but as many things are thrown in our face as often, that's not one of them. You have to go digging. You have to know the right person. And
Research.
exactly,
Yeah, you're right.
exactly. So I definitely do think that the support can increase. And yeah, it would definitely help people manage a business longer and stay in it longer because that's a lot of times you have to weigh your options like, okay, I'm passionate about this, but can I afford this? Like, how
Yeah,
much money is this taking out of my day to day? I have things to
yeah,
do. Some people have
yeah,
families, kids to
yeah,
raise. So money does play a big factor. And
yeah.
sometimes the lack of finances overweighs, the passion.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think so? Is your ultimate goal to have this business replace your full-time job, or do you see it something that you can kind of have your full-time job and kind of scale this to a point where it's kind of running by itself?
That's a great question. Especially because my full-time job is so different from Black Beauty Near You. Like
Yeah,
I still do love coding and all that
yeah,
stuff. And so I couldn't completely neglect that. And so it is difficult to think about like, okay, like how would I go about that? But that is one reason, like I'm currently going through a rebranding process for Black Beauty Near You to make things less heavy on
oh,
me as far as time wise. Still
yeah,
making it as efficient, as
yeah,
effective, as accessible, but
right.
just scaling down on some things that I had time for before that I don't have as much time for now. Because also the new job is helping out with paying for Black Beauty Near You. So a new
Yeah,
job can go
That's right.
anywhere right now. And
That's
so
right.
yeah, and so yeah, but I definitely do even with the skills that I learned from my new job, I want to expand in that and possibly like connect my skills from the two because again, like I'm working with Black Beauty Near You, my audience is, Black girls who go to PWIs, and
mhm,
another passion I have is about young minority students who are interested in computer science and math. And so I'm always here for working with the youth and teaching and helping them grow and then just showing them that they can do it. That's one of the main things that got me through college. I'm like, okay, some little Black kid is looking at me and is gonna see that I made it with my math and computer science degree, or some little Black kid is looking at me and seeing me owning this business and is gonna see like, hey, I can do that too. So yeah, both they're two different sides
yeah,
of me. So, but I'm definitely working on, weighing both,
right.
creating some type of balance so I'm not overworking myself for sure.
Maybe this can like encourage you a little bit, just to kind of like just a quick like my journey a little bit was kind of the same when I
Mm,
first, I've been now in business for like 14 years. Been been an owner, business owner, well, self-employed to now business owner. But at first, I had a full-time job too, right? And now it just so happened that full time I was making good money, was making six figures and all that, but but then it kind of went down. So good thing it went down, but I had started a cleaning business already, right? I had started my first was a cleaning business, right? And what happened was what I realized was, especially when it started making less money at the job because it was it's like sales orientated.
Mm-hmm.
The economy was a downturn in the economy at this point, so it
That
was
was around the time of when the housing
housing
crash
market
and
crash,
everything
right?
around
So
2008.
Mm-hmm.
so I was doing that and I was doing both, but then what I realized was, I can actually go if I could probably make the same amount of money just going into business full time. But you're right. I had a family at that time, children and stuff like that. So what
Mm-hmm.
I did was I set a number.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't necessarily set a date. I did have kind of a time frame in mind, but I did set a number. I did all the budgeting in my house. How much do we need for our house to function fully? That's everything. Gas, wife nails done, whatever. Right? And then whatever when I came with that number, so once my business reached that number, now that doesn't necessarily that I had to have that necessarily in my pocket, but I had to be somewhere around there. And then once
Mm-hmm.
I got somewhere around there, after paying everything, that's when I went full time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I went full time.
Hey, that
Yeah.
that's good advice, man, because we had AJ, shout out to AJ Simmons. He was on as a guest and his was by a date, if you can
Right,
recall. Remember, he just
right.
set a date
Hit
and was
by a
like
date. That's
March
right.
of next year. And it was almost the opposite because, and I give both credit. Like
Right.
there is no right or wrong in that, whether you choose it by, this is how much I need to make, or I'm going to go by the date. To me, those are still things that it takes courage to do, no matter which one
Yes.
you choose.
Yes.
So some
Yes.
people,
Yes.
it may be more appetizing to go by a date and just say,
Right.
you know what, by March 1st of next year, no matter what, I'm
I
just
think it
going
depends
to,
on how you look at approach, right? Because I do know a lot of people that do set it. There's people in our financial business that they set a date, right, and that does work.
Something that stood out is setting those goals, but those goals with numbers. Like you're not just writing down ideas, you're writing down goals with numbers. And recently that has stood out to me because I'll be the type, okay, I want to do this, 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 and this, but I never say how many, by when, what amount. And recently in December, I got on a strategy call with this girl I know. Her name is Winnie Chanel at Higher Digital Hype. Shout out to her because she
Okay.
really be looking out.
now.
And we got on a strategy call and we talked about a few things, but one of the things that stood out the most to me, she was like, no, you need to set goals with numbers. Like at this point, how many followers do you want? How many people do you want on your newsletter? How many schools do you want to touch? Like all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I need somebody to tell me that because I think about it and I stray away from it because I'm like, dang, like if I write this number down, this means like I really got to
Do
put in
it.
that work.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I do it. I do it.
Exactly. But it definitely has been initiating that drive, even though, these past few weeks. And yeah, so that really stood out to me that y'all were talking about that because I'm like, that's spot on. And it's just affirmed for me that, writing those goals down with set dates and numbers and stuff is really helpful and really helps things go. And so thanks to
So
that.
all
Thanks
the
That's what
members of the
Entrepreneur Chair is all
Entrepreneur
about. It's
Chamber,
about you empower
listen.
us and we empower you. That's how we
That's
do
right.
this
Yeah.
thing.
That's right.
That's
And
how we
y'all
Yeah.
do
heard
this
it,
shit.
all the members of the Entrepreneur Chamber from Brother Sosa, and y'all heard it from Miss Jada Day. You heard it from them directly that, you set those goals, you write them down. I think Sosa gave us some great, valuable advice and some jewels and just showing us a different way that we can go about it. But at the end of the day, it's all about us getting to that end point. So,
Mhm.
yeah, man, shout out to you both. I think for all the listeners, of the Entrepreneur Chamber podcast. I hope y'all caught that jewel from Jada and Brother Sos. Because like he just said, our mission is to for you to help empower us so we can help empower you.
Let me ask a question too. Is that your real name, Jada Day?
Yeah. Hmm.
You need to be like, oh, you also need to be, hey, maybe you're a singer or something on the side. That's like a singer name or something. That'd be the ill singer name right there, Jaida Day.
That is too funny. Yes, that is my real name.
Oh man.
That's a dope name. That's a dope
Hey,
name.
way to bring some levity.
No, that's it. That's it. But so I do got a question because I do know, you obviously you said you graduated not too long, so I'm obviously assuming that you're in your early 20s, right? So what do you feel? Because obviously there's a big shift I feel, right? And now like as opposed to when I just and myself grew up, as opposed to we grew up now, at when we grew up, I call it like the knowledge of self era, where now we're understanding who we are, where we came from, where we're going. So it's all about knowledge of self being real. It was all about being knowledge and being authentic, right? Now this era that we have here, right? To me, what I see is now we have a era where now young people more than ever are trying to take more control of their future, and they're not necessarily going to the to our parents' route. The traditional go to college 9 to 5. Some are going to college and they're starting a business right away instead of going to a job, or some are doing both.
If it wasn't college, it was a trade school.
Right.
Get a
So now
trade.
they're doing like you're doing. They're doing both. What do you feel is like created that shift? And secondly, like what is like some of like kind of like the discussions that you as young people have like on this particular topic?
Yeah, to start off, I would definitely say, we are able to do the things that we do today because of the people who came before us. So all that work that was put in, that's what we're learning from, and that's kind of like the fruit of the labor that happened, back then. And so now we have the freedom to do, to have more options of things we want to do. Like we have the option of not, going to college because, they fought for us to be able to do so, to be able to say like, okay, maybe college isn't for me, I'm gonna go a different route. So I definitely do think that's where that came from. And also because we have that grace, I should probably say, or that privilege, because we have that privilege, we're able to exercise more of our passions and really sit down and think with ourselves, okay, what do I want to do? What is really for me, instead of, because I know for some people, college is not the place for them. Unfortunately, like, the main path back then was, okay, you go to college, do this, do this. But I really like the fact that, people now still have the opportunity to, say college isn't for them, or say grad school isn't for them, or whatever, but still be successful and still be something and still be able to create a life for themselves and their family based on that. So yeah, definitely, we're able to do this because of the people who walked and ran before us. And now I think one thing we would say about this generation, and how, like, just how you explain like the different paths now compared to back then. Like I said, we're gonna exercise our freedom and we're gonna do what we want. And some people are slackers. You can be the type of person who wants to stay at home all day. But when we say do what we want, like for the motivators and the go-getters out here, we don't mean like,
That's right.
okay, like you'll be okay if you just sit on the couch. No, we mean you can do what you want in whatever field you want. Like you can go to
There is
college, you
no
can.
ceiling. The glass ceiling has been removed and broken.
Exactly. We're still working on things,
Mm-hmm.
but the glass ceiling isn't as thick as it was, per
Mm-hmm.
se.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, and so like you can go to college, you can go travel, you can do personal projects and get the word out about them, and maybe get discovered by someone. You can be an artist, whether that be musical, through paint, through photography. Like there's so many options, and we've seen even like our parents, like not the generation too far from us, be successful in those industries. And yeah, just following those footsteps and not making the mistakes, learning from the mistakes that the previous generation made, and moving forward and learning from that. So yeah, that's all of that in one, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, no,
It
nonetheless,
does.
Yeah.
It does.
And
It
the
does make
reason
sense.
why I say the glass ceiling has been broken and removed, because honestly, Jada, as Brother Sosa was touching on earlier, I'm a 5%. I'm from the era of the nation of Gaza Earths and the movement of the Nation of Islam. So the 70s babies and the 80s babies. And we've realized as we got older that that glass ceiling is not real. It's really not. It's
Mm,
really not a glass ceiling. We were told that it was a glass ceiling, so we pictured
mm,
it being the glass ceiling. And I'm here to let you know, Jada, y'all can do whatever y'all want. Y'all showing and proving.
yeah.
And guess what? That glass ceiling is broken. It's been
Yes, I
removed,
like that.
and the
Yes, I
sky is
like
the
that.
limit. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. And for people like me, I'm 47 years old. I learn from the young people. As y'all say, jacking styles. I'll be jacking the young people's styles these days because I see the way y'all move around and y'all trade it the time for the currency, and realizing that the time is the most valuable asset that you have,
Hmm.
and at the end of it, the money will come. So I certainly commend you for being a young lady, a young Black lady, standing on the shoulders of some giants of Latino women, of Black women, and women as a whole, but
Yeah.
specifically the Black and Latino women, that are your ancestors.
Yeah.
So at this point, Jada, what we normally do, and we normally do a top five. And the top five
Mm.
is based off of a category. So the category can
Oh.
be, vacation destinations, your favorite restaurants, your favorite movies. It can be hip hop, which is, the most favorite, or it could be like your top five rappers. But you pick the category, you pick
R&B,
the top
whatever.
five in that category,
Right.
if you would.
Hmm. I'm
Be
trying to
anything.
think. I'm gonna do. I think I got five movies. Um,
Move. Okay.
yeah. Okay,
Movies,
top
All
okay.
right.
five. Top five. I'm not gonna give an order because
I'm probably gonna know half of them. But go
yeah, no,
ahead.
no. So my top five, my guilty pleasure is definitely white chicks. Like I'm not even gonna
Okay,
explain.
white chicks.
I'm gonna just say that.
Okay, white chick.
My
Uh-huh.
second one is Hunger Games. Love
Hunger
that
Games.
movie.
Okay. All right.
Down. My third one is a childhood favorite. It's called Aquamarine. I ran that movie into the ground, and I will watch it again today. Then my fourth one is If Bill Street Could Talk. It recently came out a few years ago. I think it's still on Hulu. I recommend to watch it. It's a beautiful movie. The plot is great.
Oh,
It's realistic. Yeah, it's great. It's called If Bill Street Could Talk.
if Bill Street could talk. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, it's
And
a nice
then
title.
my say that again.
It's a nice title.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful movie. And then my fifth one, I'm gonna say a show that I really like to watch all the
Okay.
time.
All right. You breaking
And
set a
because
whole
we're gonna
rule.
right, we're
My
gonna
name
be we're gonna
Jada
be
Day. You know, you heard that name. It's $1 million name right there.
yes, I can't we're gonna be sitting here all day if I try to figure out another movie, but definitely Grey's Anatomy, that's my show. I love
Grey's
it.
Anatomy. What?
I'm an advocate for it all the time. I always tell people watch it. It doesn't matter how many seasons it is, just watch it, just get through
Let's
it.
watch it.
And
Hey
so
man,
yeah, those
mine's
are
is
my top five.
NCIS New Orleans. So we all got that one
Mm,
sitcom that you can binge
hmm.
watch for like a whole week.
Yes, for real. But yeah, that's my top five. I like that one.
Okay.
That's a great top five. Yes, yes, that's a great top five. So
That's a great
for
top
all
five.
the listeners of the Entrepreneur Chamber podcast, there you have it. Miss Jada Day, to break the ice a little bit, gave us her top five
That's right.
movies and
Right.
then slid in a sitcom or two there on us.
Right.
So
Wait.
to
And
help
what was your favorite out of
personalize
the
it.
Hunger Games one? What was your, because there's three of them, right? What was your favorite out of that one?
Yeah,
The first, second, or third one? I know which one I like the best.
because the third one was split into two.
Yeah, the third one.
Um,
Right.
I'm split between one and two, but I'm gonna just go with one because
Well, hey, you do what you want, Jada. So make them
yeah,
both then, one
Right.
and
I was
two.
gonna say two. I say two. Right. Right. Two was like my favorite joint.
two was really good, but I think
One
I'll
was
go
good, the
with
original
one.
joint. Yep. Yep.
But two, they really twisted it on us. So they did a great job with that. Like I said, the whole thing is my favorite. So
And you know
I
what, Jada?
recommend.
We're gonna break tradition again with you. We usually, start doing our closing at the end of the top five. I ask you a question. I'm asking one more. What do you say to the old school haters, right? It was not me and I. To the haters that say these young people, they don't want to work, they don't want to do nothing. They just want microwave society. They just want everything. They just want everything to come to them.
I would say there are, first of all, that's wrong because that's not all of us.
That's right.
And a majority of us are doing the work,
right.
and we're
That's right.
continuing the work that was done or, not finished or need to be added on to before. And yeah, like, no, we're not just sitting down doing nothing. That may be what they show on TV
That's
or,
right.
through the media, but the people I know and the connections I have, the people I've came across, we out here working and putting in time and effort to make, our communities a safer and better place for us and for the future. So, yeah.
You know, Jada, I think it's always been like that. And, the bias in the
Right.
media will only show you the other side. It won't show you the doers. Like, so you think of a movie like Hidden Figures comes out 50 years later, like, wow, they were doing that back then. Like they were moving and shaking the whole group of women doing things back then. But
Exactly.
that's not going to get the limelight, so I think that was a great answer that you gave. And before we do get up out of here, Jada, why don't you just take the last few moments and just talk about some of the beauty products, the Black beauty products that you do currently have, and how can our listening audience and members of the Entrepreneur Chamber, how can they browse and purchase your beauty products, like through your website, or is it on Amazon? Let the people know.
Yeah, so I have a plethora of things. I have, things for your edges. I have things for your wash and go. I have things for your wigs, things for your braids, like braiding hair, hair charms. I have wig glue, edge control, edge brushes, bobby pins, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I don't have everything that you may find in the beauty supply warehouses, but I try to have the essentials and the common household items. So when you're at college, you can come and get
kit.
Exactly. And so yeah, with those, like I said, I also have the beauty boxes, which are pre-made beauty boxes catered towards the style.
I saw that on the website, the beauty boxes.
Yes.
I saw it on the website. Yeah.
Yes. At the moment, like I said, I'm going through a rebrand. So I want to be more intentional about one of the boxes. When my rebrand launches, I'll be announcing that. So not too much, but follow on Instagram. You can get more information about
Instagram,
that.
everybody.
Yes, it's at Black Beauty Near You. So it's the whole name, no underscore, no periods. And yeah, but as of right now, while everything is still available, I sell all of the things that I mentioned. I'm actually going to have a rebrand sale very soon. And then the beauty boxes that I have on hand are the wig boxes, the soft lock boxes, the edge box, and the essentials box. So those are the ones that are available right now. What's today? January 11th. And so that's what is available. And yeah, so you can buy those things at www.blackbeautynearyou.com. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my link tree in my bio. And in that link tree, you can sign up for the newsletter, which will be launching soon. And that's where you will get all updates on what's being sold. And I'm also I want to drop tips in there just about being a Black girl at a PWI. And then I'll also be plugging a lot of Black business opportunities, promo codes in there. So you really just gotta stay tuned because it's a lot of good things coming. I don't want to say too much, but the main two things are the website. The main two things are the website, which is blackbeautynearyou.com, and then the Instagram, which is at blackbeautynearyou. If you find those two places, you'll be able to find everything else. And yeah, that's pretty much my spiel. Like I like to tell people on all of these social media accounts, on the email, it's me. So do not hesitate to DM. Like it's literally just, you can have a conversation. If you see a product, if you want a product that I don't have in stock, we can talk about that. If you just need some advice, we could talk about that. Like it's literally just me behind Black Beauty Near You. So do not hesitate to ask me anything or give any suggestions. I'm very open.
Dope. Dope,
I
dope, man.
like
There
that.
you have it.
Everybody, listen, y'all
Right,
know exactly where to go. So once again, that's
right.
www.blackbeautynearyou.com. You can
That's it.
check her out, Miss Jaida Day, on Instagram, and that's also at Black Beauty Near You.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Man.
hey, you want to go into your closing remarks at this point?
I thought you was gonna go, but I was just gonna say that I thought this was a great episode. We were blessed with the lovely Jada Day. And you know, I asked you that question earlier, kind of purposely, because I do feel that, you know, as you know, this is a young woman right here, this young lady right here, who I can tell you, people that are twice her age don't speak with the confidence that she speaks with, don't speak as eloquent as she spoke, don't represent themselves in the manner in which she represented herself. And I feel sometimes, you know, especially older cats, you know, to talk that kind of talk. Listen, we were all young too. I remember when I was young, and they used to hate on me too. They be in my generation too, right? Oh, you guys crazy, this, that, and the third, and we hated that, right? So me personally, I never wanted to be that guy. But more importantly, I see the value. I love young people, and another thing too, if you're in business and you're 40 years and older, you better go get yourself some young people, because it's a perfect marriage. We have the credibility, we have the business experience, we have the knowledge and the wisdom. They have the know-how of how to operate and move in this current climate. So boom, it's a perfect marriage. So get off your high horse, start talking about these people instead of talking about them, get with them, have a conversation with them, get
That's
to
right.
know them,
That's
because you
right.
might meet someone with the $1 million name such as Jada Day. You can be like, Jada Day, you got a Grammy, or what's going on here? Or you're gonna be at a PWI, right? And you're gonna
Mhm.
need some products, and you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna think of, hold up, I met Jay today. I can go to Black Beauty Near You, and I can go
Yeah.
get my thing. And I just want to say that thank you so much for blessing our listeners, our members, and our constituents. But most of all, thank you for blessing us and giving us your time, and I appreciate you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
hey
y'all.
Jada, I can't say much more on top of that one, man. That was just golden right there, and I'm just going to reiterate what Sosa just said. You know, I have a mantra where I say, our young people are our connection to our future. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know, and I just wish you all the victories. You know, we know that in the Black and Latino community, that, you know, even though we are here to highlight the hustlers, the ones out there like yourself that are making it happen, that they do exist. And Miss Jada Day is living proof. So once again, y'all go to
Go get it.
www.blackbeautynearyou.com.
Right.
She's going to help you out with all of your beauty products. And if you want to learn some computer mathematics science, she can help you with that too. So she ain't
Listen.
just
Okay.
beautiful on the outside, y'all.
Listen, and if you
Most
want to act,
importantly,
you know, you might be
she,
able to hit her up. It's gonna be a coin. It's gonna be a coin.
Okay.
It's gonna be a heavy coin, but she
most
can hook you
importantly,
up.
man, she has a beautiful mind, and I think that's the most important part of all of that, is that, you know,
Yeah,
we have young beautiful minds out there. So
yeah.
keep doing what you're doing, Jada, and we're going to leave the floor with you, and you have your closing remarks. And once again, in your closing remarks, please remind our viewers on YouTube and our listeners on all the podcast platforms, once again, your social media handles, and how can they purchase your Black Beauty products.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank y'all so much for your kind words, but also just hosting this space for entrepreneurs. A lot of times like that stuff can be looked down upon, especially by, folks who are older than us that we look up to. So I really appreciate y'all creating this space for, people like me. It really helps, out with the confidence, and also helps get the word out. So thank you. And if you're listening, thank you in advance for supporting. Again, go to www.blackbeautynearyou.com if you want to purchase anything, and follow Black Beauty Near You on Instagram. It's Black Beauty Near You on Instagram. For all updates, like I said, you can DM me on Instagram. You can email me. That's also linked on Instagram. I can also say it, which is BBNY Business at gmail.com if you want to email me. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much in advance for your support. Please spread the word about what I do. And yeah, I'm excited to continue to cater to you all and, make beauty products more accessible.
Dope.
Mhm.
Well, there you have
Go.
it. There you have it.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, Miss Jaida Day, all our listeners, all our members, all our constituents. We had a great episode, Miss Jaida Day. We thank you so much. Please, as always, tune in to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms. And as always, we always like to say, continue to empower us so we can help empower you.
Peace all and be victorious.